Labour rejects 48,000 naira minimum wage, pulls out from negotiation committee. Eight dead, over 20 injured as man sets mosque on fire in Kano. Nigeria's inflation rate soars to 33.69% as at April 2024. On the foreign scene, ousted Gabonese President Ali Bongo goes on hunger strike over his son's torture. Hello and welcome to Trust News Hour. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. Members of the organized labor on Wednesday rejected the federal government's 48,000 naira minimum wage offer for Nigerian workers. The Congress accused the government and members of the organized private sector of disgracing the organized labor with what they described as ridiculous offers. While the government offered 48,000 naira, members of the organized private sector offered 54,000 naira. Kicking against the offer at a briefing at Labour House, the Labour leader said government did not provide any data to back up the offers. Joining us via telephone is Benson Ukpa, Head of Information at the NLC headquarters.
My pleasure.
Benson Ukpa, you're welcome to News Hour.
The name is pronounced Benson Ukpa.
Benson Ukpa, thank you very much. Was the offer of 48,000 naira the product of collective bargaining or something outside the ongoing negotiations?
Pardon?
Yeah, I was saying that was the offer of 48,000 naira the product of collective bargaining or something outside the ongoing negotiations?
Well, I wouldn't see that as a product of collective bargaining. I would rather see it as a mischievous counter-offer.
So what step is the organized labor now taking to ensure it gets the best deal for Nigerian workers?
Well, you recall we made an offer of 615,000. We broke that down into subsections: 40,000 for housing, 20,000 for that, 10,000 for personal toiletries, all of those things. We made that offer taking into account the practical realities of our situation. In anticipation that government was going to make a reasonable counter offer, even if it was not going to take wholesale proposal. But what has government done? Government has elected to spit on our face. What government has done is actually contemptuous. It is an insult to the collective dignity of workers. I tell you something. IMF, World Bank, and this administration have imposed on us global charges, global tariffs, but they are not ready to pay 1/10 of global wages.
But you appear to be, if you like, blaming government alone. The private sector, I understand, also gave you 54,000 naira. So it's a two-way thing, isn't it?
No, it is not a two-way thing. I want to let you know that even though I do not want to appear to be defending the private sector. The private sector has always paid better than the government. That's what I want you to know. And if you look at the content of our press statement, we acknowledge the fact that the private sector was been paying something higher than that. So as far as we're concerned, the private sector is not the issue this time around. It's government.
So are you ready to accept the private sector's 54,000 naira?
No, we are not. We are not.
So what reasonable deal or what, certainly you may not get the 615,000. Where do you think you will now agree, or what rate, what amount would be more reasonable in your estimation?
Let me tell you this. We are presently paying global rates, PMS, energy, electricity, all of that. We are paying as they're paying in the UK, in the US, sometimes even higher. But I want to tell you this, that the minimum wage in Nigeria reluctantly remains at 30,000. The minimum wage in the US is 2,500,000 naira. So there is no correlation between tariffs and wages. So clearly there is something wrong, and it is time for the leadership of this country to see the treachery of the World Bank and the IMF. At this moment they are silent, but when it comes to raising tariffs, they lead the charge. But when it is time to talk about wages, commensurate wages that will create the needed capacity to pay tariff, they fall silent.
So, Benson Ukpa, Head of Information at the NLC headquarters, thank you so much for your explanations on the ongoing negotiations with the federal government on new minimum wage. The police in Kano State has confirmed an arson attack on a mosque in Laraba Abasawa suburb of Gezawa local government area, Kano State, by a man following a family dispute. Scores have been confirmed dead, as many others are in hospital receiving treatment. Idris Jibrin has the report, but we will warn that some viewers might find the images in Idris Jibrin's report distressing.
Very close.
It's tragic in Larabar Abasawa village of Gezawa local government area of Kano State as body part littered the ground outside a burnt local mosque. According to the community members, the man used petrol to ignite the fire and locked the mosque from outside with about 40 people praying inside. We don't know what is happening, but this is the third time he is attacking people here. He had once hit two of his elder brothers and took himself to police station, claiming that he had killed them. According to family members, one Shafiu Aminu of Gidan Nguru is believed to have orchestrated the plot to set the mosque ablaze, following years of misunderstanding with his family members over inheritance. It took time for people outside to get wary of the incident and immediately went to the rescue of the victims who were struggling to break out. Inside Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital, the victims who are critically injured, some of them beyond recognition, are now receiving treatment. Police confirmed the death of one person.
But from the interim investigations we have conducted so far, we got to know that it's not, and it has nothing to do with terrorism. It's never a terrorism case. This is what we want the public to know. It is just a minor family skirmish which arose from the distribution of an inheritance. The person that detonated the bomb is said to be an aggrieved person that the sharing of the inheritance was not to his satisfaction, which is quite unfortunate.
While these people continue to receive treatment, the police are also assuring members of the public that the incident has nothing to do with terrorism, rather a family dispute relating to inheritance. Idris Jibrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Joining us via telephone is Trust TV's Idris Jibrin with an update on the incident. Idris, what is the latest update on the attack and what situation are the survivors?
Well, actually, at the moment, like you said, the police has confirmed the death of one person. And then lately this evening, we also had the death toll have risen to about 8 people, including the first person that was confirmed by the police. The rest of the people that were injured during the attack are still receiving treatment at Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital. Meanwhile, the police have also confirmed the arrest of the suspect, 138-year-old Aminu, was arrested, who is responsible for setting off the fire. So at the moment now, we are watching the situation very closely. And like I said, 8 people have so far died, and the remaining ones are still receiving treatment at the hospital. On the other hand, the person responsible has been arrested. And in fact, like what many media have been reporting, I was able to interview the suspect a short while ago, who confirmed to me that yes, he has indeed carried out the attack. And he said his purpose of carrying out this attack is because they are trying to impose a forced marriage on him, that they are trying to make him to marry a lady that he doesn't want. And he tried to convince the family to stop, but they refused to stop. And that is why he decided to put that petrol and then burn everybody, because he believes that everyone that is inside the mosque are his relatives, including the people that are supposed to stand for him in an event where he's supposed to get married. So at the moment now, these people are receiving treatment and the suspect is in the police custody, and we are watching the situation very closely right now.
Yeah, it was different. I know you are watching the situation, but you may need to clear this. The police commissioner in your report was talking about skirmishes due to inheritance. But now you are saying the suspect is saying he is aggrieved because of a forced marriage issue.
Actually, that's what happens, and that's what I'm saying. We interviewed the suspect. He's saying it has nothing to do with inheritance. It's because it's a forced marriage. They are trying to make him marry a lady that he doesn't want. That's directly from the suspect. While the police says it's a crisis of inheritance between him and his relative. But the suspect himself says it's not inheritance. It's a forced marriage they are trying to make him do. And that's why he decided to take this action.
Thank you, Idris Jibrin. And let's keep us updated, please. Reactions have trailed the announcement of the suspension of the contentious 0.5% cybersecurity levy on electronic banking transactions by President Bola Tinubu. The hugely unpopular policy had sparked a public outcry since the announcement of its implementation by the Central Bank of Nigeria. In this report, Neil Samson speaks to experts and residents on the perceived policy flip-flops on economic reforms.
Commendation and criticisms have trailed the suspension of the cybersecurity levy as Nigerians bear their minds on the current state of affairs. While some applaud the responsive outlook of the Tinubu administration, others say the back and forth on government policies is a sign of uncertainty and lack of conviction that Nigeria needs to bring about sustainable growth and development.
Government has to stand firm. Policies of government should be thought through, and it should not be half-baked in the sense you are quick to rush to issue statement, policies, circulars, and executive orders when you have not actually think through them.
The reversal of cybersecurity levy actually shows that the president is sensitive to matters of taste. That means he has seen a lot of people taking position that is against the policy decision. And I must also tell you that though our president is also abusing the power of legislative to an extent, because it's an act that must be taken into cognizance by CBN.
We do not have evidence-based policies. We don't grill our system to evolve policies on the basis of reality. And the people who are to grill it, get the data, develop the analysis, come up with statements of reality are academics. And there's a big lacuna, there's a big gap between our academia and then the policy-making system.
Across the streets of the Federal Capital Territory, residents voiced their opinion on the already unpopular directive, with many Nigerians already decrying the current cost of living.
You know that what we are passing through in this country, I don't think it's good to, introduce any policy that would still affect the masses. So I am very happy when I hear that they have waived it off.
government felt it was important to reverse whatever it is. And if it's reversed in public interest, I think that is good.
Nigerians are being overtaxed, taxed here and there, and we are very uncomfortable. Like we in the private sector now, no pay is adding to our salary because most of the businesses are struggling and being overtaxed. And when you ask our employer to give us their minimum wage, they don't want to give us the minimum wage.
Cybersecurity is important because it protects all categories of data from theft and damage. This includes sensitive data, protected health information, personal information, intellectual property, and industry information systems. It remains to be seen what action the federal government will take next to fund the cybersecurity in the country. Well, Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Borno State Police Command has arrested more than 40 suspects over alleged involvement in phone snatching, theft, and illegal drug peddling. The command said the suspects were arrested by its new squad codename Kamdibi Frata, which means Operation Flush Out Criminals. During the operation, it recovered exhibits from the suspects such as tricycles, phones, cash, knives, and illegal drugs. The Borno State Police Public Relations Officer, Nahum Kenneth Daso, at a press briefing revealed that 22 suspects were apprehended for possession of drugs and illegal substances, with 14 involved in phone snatching and tricycles theft, while others such as tricycles, phone, cash, and during the operation it recovered exhibits from the suspects such as tricycles, phones, cash, knives, and illegal drugs. The Borno State Police Public Relations Officer, Nahum Kenneth Daso, at a press briefing, announced that 22 suspects were apprehended for possession of drugs and illegal substances, with 14 involved in phone snatching and tricycles theft, while other suspects were arrested for burgling a store. Police PRO Daso called on the public to report suspicious activities to the police within their domain, adding that the command has vowed to ensure that unrepentant criminals in Borno State are severely dealt with.
On the 12th of May 2024, at about 1700 hours, following a credible tip of one Babagana M of Ngalnam area, Maiduguri, was arrested in possession of 2 lambs and 2 sheep, all valued 200,000 naira. Upon investigation, the suspect confessed to have stolen the animals. And in regards to the military uniform, the case is still watery. So once we get further brief about it, we are going to come up and discuss about it probably in our next press briefing.
Mobile phone users in Kano have to cough out 100 naira to charge their device, as those who run the business increase their fee on account of rising cost of fuel and poor electricity supply. Salim Umar reports that until now, mobile phone owners pay as low as 30 naira for the service.
The absence of stable power supply has created business opportunity for people like Ali Umar, who runs mobile phone charging service and makes profit from it. Phone users cannot afford to allow their phones become dead for a long period without being unreachable, and therefore find solace in those who run phone charging businesses at an affordable rate. However, that is all charging now, as they are now asked to pay 100 naira for the services from the usual 30 naira. Ali Umar attributed the increase to high cost of fuel with which they power their generators. We were charging for 30 and later 15 naira when we were buying half a gallon of fuel at 1,200 naira. But now we collect between 80 and 100 naira because of fuel. He wants government to intervene and fix prices of consumer goods to address rising inflation. He said business owners are helplessly losing capital to inflation and price instability. A point of sales operator who combined the business with mobile phone charging, Yunus Ibrahim, said most of his customers are unable to pay for the service following the increase. The rate started from 30 naira to 50, and then 70, then now 100 naira. But most of my customers to pay for the service rendered. The leadership is to blame for our woes, and the only thing we can do is to pray. For Aliyu Yau, though the business is declining, unlike before, he still charges 50 naira for his businesses because he is not using a generator. We are using solar here because we are also selling soft drinks here. We can afford the rising cost of fuel, so we can't afford the rising cost of fuel, so we opted for the solar system. A mobile phone user, Abubakar Lawan, said he is relying on public supply of electricity to charge his phone because he is owing some of them money. I do not have money to pay for the service now. In fact, I am owing some of them for charging my phone. For now, mobile users in Kano will continue to pay 100 naira for this service. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
Artisans in Lagos have called on the federal government to reverse the hike in electricity tariff to enable them to sustain their means of livelihood. The police, according to them, has exacerbated the current hardship being experienced by Nigerians across the country. Aisha Momo sent in the report as presented.
The recent hike in electricity tariff has continued to receive knocks from Nigerians who are complaining that the development has affected their businesses negatively through loss of revenue. Some of those affected are fashion designers who are lamenting the drop in patronage due to the inability to meet deadlines.
But me and you know that definitely what we are paying for is darkness, because the electricity is not there. So what we are paying for, we are not enjoying it. The payment does not justify the service they are giving us. And now, what government is trying to do is also to increase. And then they bring a segment to tell you are in bank A, you are in bank B, you are in bank C, or Z, or as the case may be. So what's the meaning of all this? Are you saying some people are important than others? So those are the questions. So we want a total reversal on this issue to say that this tariff, we say no to it.
Others lamented that following the tariff increase, they have resorted to using manual sewing machines as they can no longer use industrial sewing machines and other electricity-based appliances for their jobs. This, according to them, is really slowing down business and affecting turnover.
The income we are seeing per month and the bill that we are paying is not tally. If you are seeing 50,000 naira per month, we are paying like 25,000 naira as bill. I have a son and I have a daughter that is going to school. So the economic affects me very, very well. And I can't depend on government, I depend on myself too. But less government should empower us.
From example now, before, we load 5,000 naira, we using over a month. But now, it's not up to a week. We finish. And it's affecting our business very well because we are using iron and we are using machine. And that's why most of the day we are not using that industrial machine, we are using leg because of that light. Because we use it, the light will just have gone with that. Help us tell our federal government to help us reduce the something so that it can easily for us to use.
Because we are managing the light, so we are managing to use the manual. So when we are sewing with the manual, we do use our hand to adjust the cloth. We'll be drawing the cloth. But industrial, we are using industrial, we will just go straight. But because of the light has affected us serious. It's affecting the business. Things are not going well. Things are not going, it's affecting us every part of our life, Seth. Every part of our life. We can't buy fuel. We can't use light again. The light now is like the light now is not for poor people again. The light is not for poor people. It's like so even big mess. I know it's affecting them, but it's killing us, the poor people.
They pleaded with the federal government to reverse the tariff, which has slowed down their services.
Residents of Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, have been lamenting on what they described as skyrocketing prices of commodities such as rice, beans, gari, and plantain in the state capital. To this end, they are calling on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, declare a state of emergency in the food sector as a way of ameliorating the suffering of Nigerians who can barely afford foodstuff due to rising prices. Trust TV's Friday Ibimo Peter, who went around one of the popular markets called Pansia in the capital city of Yenagoa to ascertain the increase in prices of commodities, now reports.
Some residents who spoke with Trust TV expressed shock with the continuous rise in price of commodities, saying it has never been this bad in the history of the country. They, however, call on the federal government to come up with modalities that will address the persistent price increase.
Nigerians are dying every day. Hunger, starvation, hardship. I become the talk of the day, and I keep it silent. My brother, the issue of this skyrocketing of food item and different item in the marketplace has become a serious concern. The president should have to come up openly, talk to Nigerians that what mechanism has he ever put in place to stop this level of the suffering. My brother, people are dying every day.
They know what to do, so let them try and implement it so that we, the common folks, will benefit and will try to do our best in our own parts. So let them try their own part to reduce things, to reduce the price of fuel.
I was surprised to see the price of things, how things are inflated. I come to the market and there's no way I can do. I was asking of cost out of breeze. They are offering me about 5,000 naira, 5,005. The same thing to rice. It's about 7,000 for a cost out of rice.
Some traders who attributed the situation to fuel subsidy removal said they were not responsible for the persistent prices increases, as they only sell according to how they buy their items.
Beans na 5.5, Samoan 4.5, Gari 3.3, onions 7,000, 5,000, one basket 3,000, rice 6.5, 7,000, and 5.5.
Just on Zarama this last Friday, I nearly cry over there. From Zarama to here, 1,500 for 1 gallon of oil to this year. Okay, how much I buy the oil? How much I'll come sell where people go come buy? Okay, if people come look say the oil too cost, who go buy? No be people they die for hungry so. Since last week till this week, and so people they enter market they beg for food. So may they reduce the fuel. That when that fuel come down, I know say things go cheap. May they bring the fuel price down. People are dying. Like we were there, they manage now. We know they see better food self chop again. Because you chop now, you go think of waiting you carry go buy another market tomorrow again.
The hike in the prices of commodities is not only in Bayelsa State, but across the country. From Yenagoa, Friday, Ibimo Peter, Trust TV News, Yenagoa.
Amidst the prevailing economic hardship in the country, thousands of Nigerians are turning to mobile loan applications for quick cash, despite the risks associated with these unregulated financial schemes. Borrowers from these operators face exorbitant interest rates, harassment, cyberbullying, and defamation, which can result in mental health challenges. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail examines the psychological effects and legal implications of defamation on customers patronizing loan shark operators in the country.
In May of this year, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission pledged to crack down on online loan platforms that engage in customer harassment. Thousands of Nigerians have been ensnared by these online lenders, whose activities range from semi-regulated to completely deregulated. For 31-year-old Chukudi, the psychological trauma lingers after he took a loan from one such online lender. 2 years ago, he faced severe distress when his pictures were publicly released by the lender due to his inability to repay the debt, leading him to contemplate suicide.
They say, "Oga, come and pay your loan, oh. Come and pay your loan, oh. If you don't pay your loan, we go share your this thing." I tell them, you can't do that now. Okay, please give me a little time. I will clear the loan. They started to give me threats on my WhatsApp message. In a day I can get about 10 to 20 threats calling me all manner of names. So to the extent that one of their customer care have to call me idiot. If you know you cannot pay, you don't have money, why will you take loan and all those things? I said to myself I will never borrow money from them. Then when I even managed to take another, clear that one and collect another one from another people, those ones told me that they will print obituary and let everybody know that I'm dead until I pay them their money. This one they will take me to burial of something to recover their loan and all whatnot.
In March of this year, the Nigerian Data Protection Commission announced that it is actively investigating hundreds of cases involving privacy violations by loan shark apps. Due to the risk associated with these online shark loans, many Nigerians are opting to steer clear of such easy access to loans.
The last message they sent was one of my friends that collected loan and refused to pay. So I don't know. The message was just entering my WhatsApp, telling me to talk to her to pay back the loan she collected, all this kind of.
For some of the people that said they collected, at times it's a burden to them to pay back because possibly they don't even have a tangible advice on how to use the money. Because since it's very free to get, they get it and squander it. So I believe those that give that loan, they should be able to advise them what they want to do with the money.
I don't go to loan, I don't go to borrow because I'm coming from poor family. So I don't want to put myself into a problem or my mother to be shut down of all that thing. So rather, I don't go to loan, in short.
Beneath the euphoria of easy quick loans, customers of shark loans end up with depression as they fall into the trap of addiction.
So for a start, for a person that is not yet there, don't even mess around with loan apps. Don't put your details there. Don't take loans from them. But someone asked me, like, so where do you want us to get the money from? I'm like, I can't answer that because, first of all, I would say make better financial decisions. Live below your means. Be contented with what you have. Find meaningful work to do and engage yourself. And try to live within that means of what you are earning. Seek family and friends, seek support from external people if possible. But don't go into loan apps thinking that is the easiest way out, because when the time comes for the repayment, it's going to worsen that situation that you thought that you're using the loan to solve.
Speaking on the legal perspective on the operations of shark loan applications, senior advocate of Nigeria Samuel Kagbo say public shaming and cyberbullying of customers by the shark loan providers is illegal and punishable by the law.
If you operate a scheme of whatever kind that is unauthorized, it's a Ponzi scheme. And the short funny schemes come within the purview of the what we call the powers or the jurisdiction of the EFCC. So I think that is an area they should look at.
While Chukwudi Uchenna recovers from the horrific experience of shark loans, the multiplying effect remains.
Because most of the time when I call my auntie will be like, are you sure you've not borrowed money or something like that? Or at times I will call my auntie will say, if it's them again, don't call me. So that's the thing. They've already tarnished my image, and my friends don't even want to associate like the way we used to do something since that issue happened.
Despite commitments from Nigerian authorities to curb illegal financial practices and cyberbullying, it appears stringent actions must be taken to regulate the excesses of online loan services to sanitize the system. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. We will be back shortly. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Labour rejects 48,000 naira minimum wage, pulls out from negotiation committee. And 8 dead More than 20 injured as a man sets a mosque on fire in Kano. We want on now, as the deadline elapses for the Adamawa State government to commence demolition of the Jamaica shopping complex for renovation, shop owners are beginning to vacate their premises in compliance with the government directive. The traders have expressed mixed emotions regarding this development, particularly concerning the process of securing shops at the new location designated by the government. Gibson Sodiago reports.
Some shop owners are rushing to move out, while others are taking their time, uncertain about what comes next. The new designated location for traders from the Jamaica shopping complex is Fallujah Market, as directed by the Adamawa State government to facilitate the continuation of their businesses. The deadline of May 15th has sparked ongoing debate among traders and consumers. Abdulhamid Abubakar, a trader in the market, expressed discontent with the situation, but called for government assistance to ease the transition period.
We don't have the place that we go and park our property. First one, we cannot finish that side that Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintiri give us in Adamawa State, like Fallujah markets. We are on processing. We cannot conclude it. That is the problem we're having. But we are parking our property. I will take it to my house and keep it.
Traders such as Samson Philibus and Dogara appeal to authorities to erect more temporary structures, emphasizing the need for government to reduce the prices of shops in Fallujah. They noted that traders have no other options due to the government's actions, but urge authorities to consider the plight of the traders.
Many of us, more especially like GSM repairers and those that are of no privilege, has not got a location in that place. Almost about 80% of us, we have not gotten a location. And when we go there, they even tell us that we should adhere to their pattern of building, that we should build it in a way that it should be a design of up-story building. And we don't even know whether the governor has assigned it to be a permanent market or just for a year. We don't even know that one. But the people that local government has assigned to give us that places, they are telling us that we should build in a way that they want it. And which is we are pleading to the governor and even to the Commissioner of Commerce and Industry in person of Dr. Ishaya John Dabari, that he should please have a pity on us, that they should allow us to do what our capacity can give us.
Today is a very sad day, but we don't have any option. So we know that the governor is trying his best to build Adamawa State. We don't have any option but to abide by the rules and regulations. So we don't have any option but to take out our properties and relocate. Right now we don't know what to do, but we know that he's doing his best for Adamawa State. But my call to him is that he should consider us. I don't know, maybe there is anything only the governor knows and his advisors. They should look for a way in order to make a suitable place for us.
Jamaica Shopping Complex, a popular market for mobile phones in Yola, Adamawa State capital, is set to undergo a remodeling by the Adamawa State government as part of the Fintri administration's urban renewal program. Gibson So Adigo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Since the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, released the results for the 2024 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination results, there have been celebrations of outstanding performances from students across the country. In Gombe State, the story is not different, as many have been celebrating the exceptional performance of a 16-year-old who scored 348 to emerge the top performer in his school. Hassan Kohli reports.
This is Kausar Shehu Toro, a 60-year-old secondary school student who scored 348 in the 2024 JAMB examination, emerging the top scorer in Gombe State. Kausar said although her parent contributed to her success, a conducive learning environment by her school and her passion to become a medical doctor were her best motivations.
My motivation to study was the efforts that my parents put into ensuring that I have a good sound education, and their dream for me to become a medical doctor. Graduated from a medical doctor from ABU. I knew that ABU, I had a rumor that ABU extended their cutoff mark to 300, so I knew that I had to study hard to get that mark. Things I applied is having a conducive study environment, looking for a time when you know that you understand the best. You have to know your study pattern. You have to create a timetable, a flexible timetable that you can change and still achieve what you want.
Kausar was excited to have such an excellent result and believes that the totality of her effort is yet to manifest as she looks forward to a great academic journey ahead. She is optimistic that with a conducive learning environment, students like her will continue to shine.
Don't feel like you know it all. No matter how much you feel like you know it all, there's still something you don't know. So always crave for knowledge, and also help others and get help from others. No matter how good you are, you still need help.
As a token of encouragement, Kausar has been gifted a laptop computer while her picture was pasted at the entrance of her school. Hassan Koli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Congratulations to Kausar and several others who made very high points in JAM 2024. Moving on, President Bola Tinubu has commissioned 3 milestone projects, which include the expansion of the AHL gas processing plant, the Ano gas processing plant, and the 23.3-kilometer Ano to Obiafu Obricom Oben custody transfer metering station gas pipeline projects across Delta and Imo states. The hybrid commissioning was done virtually by the President and physically by the Minister of Petroleum Gas and the governors of Delta and Imo states. The President said the commissioning is highly significant to the country as it demonstrates the administration's concerted efforts to accelerate the development of critical gas infrastructures geared at significantly enhancing the supply of energy to boost industrial growth and create employment opportunities. The report.
This is the gas revolution in play. What this means to our country is that enormous resources being put into the domestic market. It will provide gas for power, gas for industries, gas to chemicals, and that value chain will create jobs, employment, taxes, and everything that you can imagine a typical gas country should benefit from. And this is becoming very, very apparent because you do need the backbone infrastructure to deliver on all this. And this is what Mr. President has pushed, and we are delivering on them. And the fact that he mentioned we're able to deliver 2 years work in 11 months means when you put more resources, more commitment, and of course people, money, resources, technology, you can actually do work that is designed for 2 years in less than that. And that is what we achieved. It is a proof that this country can transform its gas resources into value, and we're already seeing this value.
Let's join Yusuf Akogu for more on business news.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. Despite the Naira making a considerable gain in April, the prices of goods and services escalated in the month of April. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the headline inflation rate increased to 33.69% relative to the March 2024 headline inflation rate, which was 33.20%. It noted that the movement of the inflation in April showed an increase of 0.49 percentage points when compared to the March 2024 headline inflation rate. The report added that food inflation rate in April 2024 was 40.53% on a year-on-year basis, which was 15.92 percentage points higher compared to the 24.61% recorded in April 2023. The rise in food inflation rate on a year-on-year basis was caused by increase in prices of millet, flour, garri, bread, wheat flour, amongst others. The World Bank on Tuesday said Nigeria recorded 133 private sector investment commitments in 3 projects in 2023. The World Bank disclosed this in its private participation in infrastructure 2023 annual report. The report stated that in 2023, Sub-Saharan Africa saw an investment in 66 projects totaling $3.5 billion. This marked a 24% decrease from the investment levels of the previous year and a 46% decrease from the past 5 years average. The largest contributor to the region's PPI was South Africa, responsible for 30% of the regional PPI, followed by Senegal and Tanzania. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has disclosed that Nigeria's oil output, excluding condensate, rose month-on-month by 4% to 1.28 million barrels per day in April 2024 from 1.23 million barrels per day in March 2024. But on a year-on-year basis, OPEC disclosed that the nation's output rose to 1.2 million barrels per day in April 2024 from 999,000 barrels per day in the corresponding period of 2023, indicating an increase of 28%. In the latest May monthly oil market report, OPEC also put Nigeria's oil output, excluding condensate, during the period at 1.28 million barrels per day. Equity segment of the Nigerian stock market closed in red yet again on Wednesday as massive sell-off hit medium cap equities. Let's see how it went down today. Of course, the PZ they're leading the losing equities. They're down 10% to close at 20 naira and 25 kobo per share. FTN Cocoa also down 10% to close at 1 naira and 44 kobo per share as well. Of course, Sterling Bank Nigerian PLC down 9.89% to close at 4 naira and 1 kobo per share. Of course, this has dragged down the market downward by 0.13%. Volume of trade 355.55 million shares. Their value at 7.142 billion naira in a days of 7,333 did exchanges among investors this Wednesday. Of course, leading the top trading equities there is Jitco doing 71.872 million shares. Custodian, an insurance company, 65.465 million shares. Of course, Access Corporation, 24.167 million shares. It traded at the close of business today. Some equities also recorded gain. Leading that table is Custodian Insurance, up there 9.63% to close at 10 naira and 25 kobo per share. International Energy, an insurance company as well, up there 9.29% to close at 1 naira and 53 kobo per share. Of course, Sovereign Insurance also up 7.89% to close at 41 kobo per share. And that's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Wednesday on the floor of NGS. Let's see the global stock market and of course exchange rate data for today. Oil prices slipped on Wednesday as International Energy Agency data showed demand in developed countries was forecast to flag this year as inflation remains persistent. At the London market, European Brent sells for $81 per barrel. For the OPEC basket, dealers offer $83 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akogu.
On the foreign scene, former President Ali Bongo of Gabon and his 2 youngest sons, Jalil and Bilal, have started a hunger strike to protest their sequestration and alleged acts of torture against family members. Their lawyers, who announced this on May the 14th, also stated that a lawsuit has been filed in the Paris Judicial Court. Lawyers Francois Zimere and Catalina de la Sota aim to have a French judge investigate these allegations, especially as Gabon's leader since the August 2023 coup, General Brice Oligui Nguema, plans to visit Paris soon. An earlier complaint by Ali Bongo's wife, Sylvia Bongo, filed on September the 1st, 2 days after the coup, was dismissed in October. The new complaint alleges illegal arrest, aggravated sequestration with torture, and barbaric acts against Ali, Sylvia, and their sons Nuruddin, Jalil, and Bilal, noting that the first four are French nationals. The lawyers claim Nuruddin has been tortured multiple times, while Sylvia was beaten and forced to witness these acts. They added that Ali, Jalil, and Bilal, who are under house arrest and deprived of communication, have also been tortured. Time now to join Emmanuel Fashemi for the latest in sports.
Ahead of the Nigerian Under-17 national team, the Golden Eaglets opening fixture against Burkina Faso, coach of the side Manu Gaba has said they are fully focused on the showdown. The five-time world champions will face the young Etalons of Burkina Faso in the opening game on Thursday. According to Gaba, the team is putting finishing touches to perfect their plans ahead of the match. He said the team is focusing on getting one of the two tickets for the Africa Under-17 Cup of Nations. Group B consists of Nigeria, Togo, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Nigeria defeated their opponents in the 2022 edition to win the regional tournament under former coach Undoka Umbade. Nigeria versus Burkina Faso is bid for 4 p.m. on Thursday, 16th May 2024 at the University Stadium, Accra, Ghana. Following his astounding performance for Udinese this season, goalkeeper Maduka Okoye is set to return to the Super Eagles for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. The young star decided to drop out of the team before the 2023 African Cup of Nations to face his club career. His decision seems to have paid off as he has emerged as the first-choice goalkeeper for the Italian Serie A side Udinese. The Nigerian goaltender made the headlines after single-handedly earning Udinese a win against champions Juventus. According to a hint from the national team camp, Okoye is among the goalkeepers Coach Finidi George has invited for the qualifiers against South Africa and the Cheetahs of Benin Republic. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
That sports news conclude News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Muhammad Kuda Walker. Thanks for watching.